So similar to yesterday's video, I'm trying to get a large amount of battle destiny here. But in this case, we're going for battle damage instead of battle destiny, I should say. So lots of Tatooine sites like before, lots of Jedi, lots of Sith, trying to occupy these sites. I'm playing both decks, by the way, from separate computers. It's a little bit faster than playing from separate browser windows. Okay, so we're gonna try to get Depa Balaba out to draw cards faster into my hand. I'll have to wait till next control phase, though. Erica's coming out. She can retrieve. Palpatine will be on table. It's nice to use with Force Lightning because he can pull Force Lightning into hand, and then Forlom can dump that Force Lightning into the use pile to go get a card from the reserve deck. A pretty common strategy. That's what just happened. The Force Lightning was pulled into hand and then dumped. Chadra fans allow me to steal weapons from the opponent's hand, so we'll get a couple of those out. Hopefully Darkseid is nice enough not to battle the Chadra fan. I'm pretty sure he would be. So it's a pretty quick way to build your hand once you get those guys out there, because I should say Emperor Palpatine and Forlom, because you can take a card for free and then put a card back. And there goes the Crate Dragon Pass. I almost said Crate Dragon Bones site. But that's going to allow, once I revolution it, to get one to each of my battle destinies draws for each title battleground site I occupy. And I got a program trap here on Forlom. That's going to be important later. Because of a key light side card that you're trying to increase your opponent's battle damage, there's a certain requirement that has to be met. Okay, so we got one of the Sidious's lightsabers we're looking for. There's plenty in the deck. The goal later is to get them on the table. So I'm generating a lot of force because I got Obi-Wan at the Tashi station, so I'm getting +5 force because of that. And here's the key card. So you can triple opponent's battle damage if Han is there, but you have to have less power. But battle damage, once you get to that, is the difference between your total power and the opponent's total power. So I have to simultaneously, well, not simultaneous, but I have to start the battle with less power and finish the battle with much more power. And to do that, I want to get the opponent down to zero power. So I hope to boost their power. That's why I have the Tatooine system in there and Nightfall. Oops, wow, I hate it when I do that, when I make everything blue. So sun's down. I call it Nightfall. It's sun's down. That makes nighttime conditions. All right. Oops, I want to get this site to be the visible one. There we go. Palpatine's doing his thing. Darkseid's already got a huge hand. They can help sort the light side pile there. Chadra fans are stealing lightsabers. 2 of them, it looked like. So that was 2 for 2, which is nice. Vaygrim D'Ann's coming out with his band, of course. So, yeah, the balance here is always tough. You got to draw a bunch of battle destiny to get high power, and you want to get there's cards that increase your power, but depending on what the choices are, adding to your power isn't necessarily adding 20 to your power isn't necessarily as good as adding 15 to your total battle destiny, because when you double your battle destiny, of course, you're doubling 15 instead of doubling 20. So there's a balance there, but sometimes you do want to play those power adding cards because they're used interrupts, and you need to have cards in your deck recycled with Figrin D'An to draw for Destiny. So there was all sorts of variables there. I'm not sure I picked the optimal one, but my goal in terms of meeting a specific Battle Destiny goal, I was able to do that, breaking a certain threshold. So all these Abyssins come out. They got some pretty decent power. There must be 9 of them there because they're power 4, 2 on their own, and 2 because Maya was at the audience chamber. We're stealing Sidious's lightsabers left and right. There's the moisture farm. So Revolution's there, which means I now get the Dark Side's text, adding the Battle Destiny draws. They win this round is out, so I'm adding 1 to each Battle Destiny draw. Luke can come out now, or at least that effect. I don't want to deploy Luke just yet. But Jar Jar and Tarpals are good together. We also got this card, which is going to triple the battle damage. Because this, not because of the first text, because of the second text. A few more Abyssin need to come out. Oops, I clicked on Tashi Station. I want to take a closer look at this one. There we go. So getting those Sidious's lightsabers in my deck, if you watch yesterday's video, they're Destiny +1 for each Jedi or Dark Jedi on table. There's Luke. So now that Luke's out, we can start putting cards from the force pile or hand onto force pile, those Sidious's lightsabers. I think I might have done the wrong function there. Oh well. I think I tried to deploy a card from the use pile, so guess I had a couple misclicks this game, nothing too major. But with the Baragwin out now, if the opponent force drains me, then I can just lose a Sidious's lightsaber and immediately retrieve it. In the meantime, retrieve ones that are already there. Yeah, one of the cards I was debating on putting the deck on as Walker sighting, which adds 2 to the power of each of my rebels there, and then they have their power doubled again because of Jedi presence, but you got to balance that with adding an extra card to draw for Battle Destiny, or even giving yourself the opportunity to draw Battle Destiny, which you're adding a bunch to and then doubling. So I think I ultimately decided against Walker sighting. Got all these Abyssin with 44 power. Of course, Lightside still has more. There's an Ishii-Tib, but it's a little bit too late to use him to recycle cards back in my deck. Now, I guess not totally too late, but it's nice to get them early because you can send the red cards and maybe even a lightsaber back into your deck if you need to try to get the characters. There is a bunch of characters there. That's Boba, and that's what gets them more power. So that added 2 to the power of every alien because we're under nighttime conditions, every dark side alien. Stealing some more lightsabers. It's going to take a while to get everyone deployed, but when you got Luke as well as a Chadrafan, Steel Lightsabers, and a Baragwin retrieving guys. I'm going to build my force pile up somewhat quickly. And I'll just get out what I can each turn, try to spend it all. So the idea here, lose that card, then retrieve it with the Baragwin, then hopefully steal a card with the Chadrafans, then put that card on my force pile using Luke. And I am able to steal one. Oh, and yeah, I guess I don't even have to retrieve with the Baragwin because I have Figure to end now. So that was nice and easy. Building that force pile. Oh, saw them all twice with the two separate Chadrafans. That was pretty lucky, I guess, or unlucky. 1 out of 6 twice. There's the Endor scout team. I needed another scout to be with Lieutenant Page, so I figured I'd put the Power 8 one in there. So I'm going to double his power. So that's the most powerful scout in the game in terms of literal printed power. Ability 1, though, which is kind of odd, but the entire team of, I know it's for gameplay reasons, but it does seem that the whole team of commandos is only one ability. Guess I drew a card with Kanan Jarrus's text. That wasn't really that necessary. Cocoon, so I got a bunch of Jedi occupying sites, because remember the Sidious's lightsabers, their destiny +1 for each Jedi or Dark Jedi on table. Might as well have those Jedi pull double duty and also occupy a Tatooine site. Vader, he's a power of 8, I believe, because he's made plus, oh, it doesn't actually say on there, but whatever it was before, I believe he added 8 to it. Just a few more characters to deploy. And we got Imperial Decree out. This is because Darkseid's going to have to lose some force in the middle of the battle. So it'll be good to reduce that by the number of battlegrounds occupied. Otherwise, Darkseid's going to run out of cards in their deck. Okay. So we got all red cards and characters in hand. That's good. Dr. Revazin. He's usually power 1, but he's power 3 because the droid. So Darkseid's got 83 power. Just trying to get that Force Lightning back in the deck. Reorganizing the dark side or the light side's force pile to make sure everything in there is proper card. All right, that was lucky getting 2 in a row. Of course, maybe that's all that's left. I don't remember at this point. Here comes Lando. He's got a maintenance cost, so I'm going to hold off on deploying Chewie. Okay, Darkseid's got 1 card left at the moment. Well, 2 cards because I guess they put Force Lightning back. Darkseid's got 2 really important things they need to do in the battle to get all this battle damage for the light side. Got Chewie. But that's 1 on him, which makes life dead a used interrupt and allows us to deploy Count Me In, which makes I Know a used interrupt and allows us to deploy I'm With You Too, which doubles my total battle destiny and makes Don't Get Cocky a used interrupt. So At the moment, light side has more power, but dark side has one more Abyssin, and light side's power went up too because Ayla Sakura's power +1 for each character there. So dark side has more power now. That's what light side needed. All right. So we're getting real close to that battle. I think it's going to be light side's next turn. So light side has enough force. We're going to target Boba Fett with Din Djarin so I could retrieve force that Boba Fett is gone. So there's you overestimate their chances. Light side plays don't underestimate their chances. So light side initiated. We're tripling battle damage. We're tripling battle damage again because this triples the result if you overestimate their chances. And then light side is going to play, I've got a bad feeling about this, which triples battle damage again. So we're at 3 times 3 times 3 times 27. This is an interesting card. Jedi's Focus. Everyone is power -1 or -2 if they're non-unique. So we had to start the battle with less power, but we need to try to get dark side down to 0 power. So this is going to make all those Jedi, not Jedi, it's going to make all those aliens non-unique. All right, so that reduced their power significantly. It was 89, I believe. Now it's down to 63. And we're just playing a bunch of Battle Destiny adders now. A lot of High Destiny ones, because I need to send them back into my deck. I've got Figuring to End, so I can recirculate whenever I want. So lots of cards in my used pile is no problem. I just don't want them in my Force pile or Lost pile when it comes time to draw Battle Destiny. That's actually a used interrupt. Also a used interrupt. And life debt for the same reason. Those effects that are deployed on those characters also a used interrupt. Old Times is always a used interrupt. It's not made one by effect or anything. So we have Biggs and Luke together. All right, so now we got Boba Fett going after Luke. Luke is about to be hit. He's about to be made lost with evasion, but light side has Anakin Skywalker. So that means if we can draw higher than a 13, Vader's going to cross over to the dark side. And that looks like a 0, but it's actually a 17 because of all the battlegrounds occupied. I'm sorry, that's because of Jedi. There's 17 Jedi or Dark Jedi on the table. So Darth Vader has crossed over. And the Force loss got reduced with Imperial Decree. So light side or dark side doesn't have to lose 6 Force. Gonna add two Battle Destiny with Skywalkers. Now, problem is dark side still has 55 power. We're canceling Suns down, drawing a 3 with that, and that triggers the program trap. So all these characters are going to be lost. So what does that mean? Well, program trap, yeah, whenever either player draws a Destiny match and the number of characters at the same site, there were 3 when we drew a 3, the droid explodes, making everyone there lost. So dark side was trying to cancel its own effect to help the light side out. We're going to get rid of nighttime conditions here. We lose Erica as well, and then when we lose Mayo, all of these guys are going to be power -2, so they're down to 31. Now, since that effect still was canceled because it still worked, we drew less than the Emperor's Destiny or whoever it was. Suns Down gets canceled, and then we have only 3 power left. So Suns Down was canceled, which means this guy's now useless, and he's power 0 anyways. Adding a few more Battle Destiny. Okay, so Leia's going to shoot up Boba Fett. She's going to substitute her own destiny. Misses, but I can still play that. Just didn't want to use that later, but no worries because we have Han that can shoot Boba Fett. Yeah, I wanted to use Count Me In so I wouldn't have to be prompted to click no every single time I'm drawing Battle Destiny. So that's probably going to be a hit. And we operate on him. I can send him to the used pile to retrieve 2 force because I want to clear out that lost pile as much as I can. Got 90 power, 32 Battle Destiny at the moment. I play Jedi Presence to double. So I play it on Ayla to double the power of all the other rebels. And that should include Darth Vader, which it does, because he's a rebel now. He's Anakin Skywalker. And then since he's a rebel, we can play on the edge with him. So playing on the edge with Vader, I always thought that was kind of funny. Easily draw more than a 6, so we get to retrieve 6 force. Okay, so we've got 26 cards in the used pile, 6 cards in the reserve deck. Gotta have one in the lost pile, of course, but we can recirculate. Now it's time to draw 32 Battle Destinies. And fortunately, I remembered to use I'm With You 2 to double Battle Destiny. So yes, I want to draw 32 Battle Destinies. I got 32 cards in the deck. And last game, where I was just trying to get a super high Battle Destiny, I was drawing 45s, but had to settle for 39s because in order to do this, you need to find a way to get a bunch more power while having them at 0 power. So with Boba Fett having died, and the Jedi's focus making all these guys power 0, they're way down. Maybe there's a way to have dark side have more power than the light side, without using so many dark side characters. But one of the ways I was thinking of was using like Tauntaun Bones to initiate battle and then have dark side draw a bunch of destiny to have light side deploy cards for free, because whenever dark side draws a 5, light side can deploy a character for free, but that would be kind of difficult to pull off, I thought, in terms of making sure all those destinies were 5s. Plus you have to have those cards in the deck anyways, so they're either, for the dark side's perspective, they're either in the deck or on the table. So maybe there's a way to get a bunch more dark side power and immediately decrease it, but this is the way I settled on. So yeah, we're not drawing 45s like last game, but still lots of high Battle Destinies. We're adding 1 to each Battle Destiny for Lieutenant Page, 1 for Darth Vader. We can't use Anakin and Darth Vader because when Darth Vader crosses over, he becomes Anakin. So I should kind of be calling him Anakin Skywalker right now. But there's that virtual Anakin who adds 1 to each Battle Destiny. Unfortunately, you can't use both. You have to, once Vader crosses over, you have to choose 1 to keep. We're adding 1 for each Tatooine battleground site we occupy. I didn't put anybody at the audience chamber because they were going to get blown up by the program trap in any case. But yeah, lots adding to the destinies right now. We got 16 more to go, so I'll speed it up just a bit. We got all these Dark Jedi on the table helping us. We got all these Jedi helping with it. As far as I know, I used every persona out there that could be a Dark Jedi or Dark Jedi. Drawing a real mix of cards. It's kind of fun to see all those cards used to add Battle Destinies come back as Battle Destinies themselves. So 32 total. We got 6 left, getting all those Battle Destiny adders that were normally lost interrupts but are now used interrupts, and some that are definitely lost interrupts but got retrieved. Fortunately, I remembered to play that one before crossing Vader over, otherwise it wouldn't have worked. bad feeling about this. And what are we going to close with? I can't remember what the bottom one is. It's oh, wonder why that's the bottom one. Maybe because I had to use force to initiate. I'm not sure. Okay, so the total battle of destiny is 1990, which is kind of funny. This game's from the 90s. Light side total power is 2140. Now, light side unfortunately has to forfeit their cards first, but let's see what the total battle of destiny ended up being. All right, so because we're multiplying it by what ends up being 27, the total battle of destiny was 57,780. So it's pretty happy with that. My goal was 50,000. After a couple test runs and tweaking it, I was hoping to get 50,000. So it's nice that only the first 3 digits are even visible there, and there's still 2 more spaces after that. So 57,000 battle damage, probably not the highest possible, but definitely up there. And I had a lot of fun putting it together. So hopefully you had fun watching it. If you have some comments on what might have been able to have been done differently or more efficiently, I'd be interested in hearing that. In any case, thanks for watching. Have a good one.